What's up, guys? M16, also known as Chair Force 1. Today I'm going to talk about the new hottest topic on the Rocket League Reddit. Rocket League price manipulation. Is it real? Is it Illuminati confirmed? Or is it all just the free market? Let me give you the scoop on this one. Now, apologize for the somewhat shitty audio quality. This is not edited. I'm just going to go ahead and rant about my feelings about this whole issue and what I think the community and Psyonix can do to rectify the problem of price manipulation. Now, is it real? All you have to do is go down to one of these topics here, and you'll see a lot of people say, "Oh, you know, it's no manipulation. It's the free market. It's America. People are just making profits. Deal with it." To the people who are like, the middlemen in the trade Discord are collaborating with some rich people and they're jacking up the prices and this is what's going on. And so if you don't really know what I'm talking about, I'm really referring to the alpha item price increases that have happened the past 2 weeks, the Crimson Lightning price increases that have happened the past couple of weeks, and now the newest one, White Zombras. So let's look at some prices here before we get started. Let me pull something up here. So we'll go into the Google Drive. Pull up the spreadsheet by Sujuju KX. Now I know this guy somewhat decently. If you don't know who he is, he's a pretty big trader, and he's hosted this very popular price guide, one of the quote-unquote more official price guides out there for Rocket League. He updates this on a regular basis. Now I understand that since he's the only one doing it, there's no checks and balances. There are potential for him to manipulate the prices. I find this guide personally to be fairly accurate, and so we'll just use this as a baseline. So right now you see Crimson Lightnings are 63 keys each. Alpha items are 1,000. Gold Rush is pushing 900. Gold Cap is 160. And if you've seen anything in the past 2 weeks, these prices are not the norm. Now, I've made these charts here, as you can see. Now, they're not updated. They were last updated January 3rd. So, a little more than 2 weeks ago. So, going back to mid-December, Crimson Lightnings were just 42, 43 keys, pretty stable price. We can go down here. Alpha items were fairly stable. Gold Cap trending at 115 keys. Gold Rush, Gold Stone, 150, 160 keys each. And the White Zombra was actually trending downward all the way to January 3rd. So in just a couple of weeks, we've seen a price increase for 42 keys to Crimson Lightnings to over 60. Alpha items have exploded to 1,000 each for Goldstone and Gold Rush. Alpha Cap's gone from 115 to 150, 160. White Zombras were trending down, and now they're all the way into some unknown territory that I'm not really going to speculate about. So now we can see the prices. So my argument is that price manipulation is real. Now, the common explanation on Reddit that's often posted by big traders is it's the free market. You know, it's supply and demand. As demand goes up and supply goes down, the price is going to go up. And that's exactly what's at play here, but that explanation is just a little too simple. It's completely true, but it's glossed over the full reason why this is happening. So the Rocket League market has two problems. The market is too small, and there's lack of official market support by Psyonix. The market is too small. Let's go to that one. Number one. Now, there are lots of people who play Rocket League. There's a lot of people who trade. You go on these big Discords, and you scroll down to, what's this, Trade Central, and there's thousands of people online. You go to the official Rocket League Reddit Discord, and there's thousands. There's clearly thousands of traders. You think this is a big market. But in comparison to the markets like CSGO, Team Fortress 2, even the stock market, this market is very, very small in comparison. There's a lot less traders. There's still a lot of money in the market, but there's a lot less individual items in the market, and so it's a lot easier to manipulate price if you're a big trader, because You can actually buy out the market. For example, it's really hard to buy out the market on Dragon Lore Ops in CS:GO, but in Rocket League, it's actually very easy to buy out the market, and so you can effectively change the game, and you can make it so that it's a pay-to-win trade system. If you're rich, you make a lot of money. If you're a small, medium-sized trader, you're fucked. And let me illustrate it for you here. We got Joe Regular Trader. And apologize for the notepad, but this is what we got to deal with. He has 100 keys. He's bought them. He's saved them up over the couple of months. His goal is to buy Alpha Cap at 120 keys. He's almost there. He's really good at, he's decently good at, he's okay at trading, whatever. He's making 2 to 3 keys a day in profit. He's almost there. His goal just maybe a week away. So we got Big Steps Mark Trader. Now this guy is just like Joe Regular Trader. He loves the Alpha Cap design. He loves how it looks on his car. But he has $1,000 or $10,000 in cash ready to go, and he's a big trader. He's a big time trader. He has a lot of money. Let's go buy some Alpha Caps. Now we're going to make the assumption here that $1 equals 1 key. I think that's a fair assumption. So this guy wants to buy 80 Alpha Caps. There aren't a whole lot of Alpha Caps in the market. Buying 80 at a time is fairly difficult, so he's going to do an overpay. The market price is 120 keys. He's going to buy them at 125 just to facilitate the whole process. And so he's actually, by the time he's spent $10,000, he's bought 80 Alpha Caps, 125 keys each, and he's made negative $400. He's already lost of his investment. So you would think this is pretty stupid, right? He's already lost $400. But let's look at the Alpha Cap market here. Now, I don't have exact numbers. This is all speculation. This is all just guesstimation. But this is kind of my feeling of why there's a problem with price manipulation. Let's say there's 1,000 Alpha Caps on the PC market. So by buying 80 Alpha Caps, he's effectively bought maybe 8% of the market. It's a sizable amount, not too much. However, this whole market isn't the active market. It's not available all the time. Maybe 30% of Alpha Cap owners don't want to trade the item, have no intentions of trading, or are looking to hold long term. Maybe 20% of all the Alpha Cap items are in accounts where they've stopped playing or they've lost their account got hacked. Those items are now out of the market. There's now only 500 actively tradable Alpha Caps in the Alpha Cap market. So Big Steps Mark Trader now owns 16% of the Alpha Cap market. Now, if you own 16% of a stock in real life, you are a big time shareholder. You have to go to the big corporate meetings, and you have a lot of say over what happens in the company, and you can have a large sway over the price if you decide to sell all at once. That's effectively what Mark has done here. He owns 16% of the Alpha Cap market. There is now 16% less Alpha Caps in the market today than there were yesterday. There is now artificial shortage in the market. Now the demand for these caps, everyone kind of wants an alpha item, so it's fairly steady and it's fairly high. The demand is going to be the same amount as yesterday, but now the supply is so much decreased. So it's very simple economics. As supply goes down, price goes up, and generally demand goes up as well. And so a lot of traders have knowing there's appears to be a lot more buyers in the market. It's not that there's necessarily more buyers, it's that the supply is less, so a lot less people are able to purchase them, so there's a lot of more pending trades. So they're like, why don't we raise the price to maybe 125, 130? Big Stacks Mark Trader starts blasting out messages on the Reddit, Discord, oh, we're selling for 135, 140. And a lot of trades that were at 120 aren't going through because there's a shortage in the market. So the market automatically adjusts to the negative supply. The price goes up, 140, 150 keys, and as this happens, a demand actually increases because people are starting to see that maybe we can make some profit here in the Alpha Caps. The price is increasing, so there's a lot more buying activity. And as you can see, this is starting to turn into a cycle here where the price just keeps going up and up and the demand is going down. I mean, not the demand is going up, the demand is going up as well, the price is going up, the supply is going down. Now, if Big Stacks Mark Trader was working with other traders as well, they could collectively buy 40, 50% of the Alpha Cap market, and they could very much easily, in a shorter amount of time, direct the market to the price they want it to be at to make a lot of profit. So 2 weeks later, Alpha Cap's now at 150 keys. Joe can't keep up with the increases in price and he quits trading because alpha cap item is unobtainable for a small to medium sized trader. Meanwhile, Mark Trader has made a lot of profit, and so he's going to sell his 80 caps at 150 each. So he's going to sell them for a total of 1,200 or 12,000 keys, which is essentially $12,000. His initial investment is $10,000. In 2 weeks, he's made $2,000. Huge, huge, huge profit. Let's look at another example. Smaller amounts of money here. You have $1,000, right? And you want to buy Crimson Lights at their, let's say it was 2 weeks ago, 42 keys each. You buy 23 of these Crimson Lights. There's only so much in the market, and a lot of people, let's say a lot of big traders start doing this collectively, or maybe there's hype in the market, so everyone kind of starts doing that. The price is now 65. You sell their 23 Crimson Lightnings. In 2 weeks, you've made $500, 50% of your investment. Lots and lots of money. So do you see the problem here? The problem here is that the market, while it appears to be big, is actually fairly small in the amount of items that are in the market. The amount of Crimson Lightnings, the amount of Alpha items, the amount of Striker Lightnings that are in the market. So you can very easily, if you're a big time trader, buy out a niche or a corner or an aspect of the market, and you can easily price manipulate your way to profit. This, and if you look at the proof here, it's been shown time and time again to happen. And it's kind of a compounding effect, right? The price is increased, the market demand starts increasing for that item, and so the price increases more exponentially. Meanwhile, you have unofficial spreadsheets that are very popular that are simply going to adjust to the price of the item, and there's no algorithm, it's just a hand adjustment. So JujuX, for example, sees people are buying them at 64, he's going to change it to 64. Now large percentage of the market sees the price, they see the price that the big time traders are doing, and so everything's going to adjust accordingly, and there's going to be a lot of profit made for the big time traders. Who's hurt the most by this kind of activity? The small and medium sized traders, the traders who are day traders for hobbies, or they have a goal, they want to work up to a Striker Lightning, a Beta Nugget, Alpha Cat, a Goldstone, whatever your goal is, and they don't have a lot of money to invest, and they can't corner a market, they can't work with other traders, and they get burned every single time by this activity. So, long rant goes to show, in my opinion, that the price manipulation is real. And it's exaggerated by the problem that there's lack of official market support by psionics. We have to go to third-party people for our prices, who may or may not be very trustworthy, who may or may not also be very big traders, who are looking to make a lot of profit in the market, and who may have some sort of incentive to adjust prices accordingly. Not saying JujuX is doing any of that, but just that's the problem here. And also the lack of official psionic support means that there's no official prices, there's no official support for buying an item with real money. It's against the TOS for psionics. It's not like CSGO where you can plop $500 in a Dragon Lore op skin. Here you have to go through third parties, and so that just opens more and more opportunities for price manipulation. And so another part of the price manipulation is Striker Lightnings in particular, but any kind of item that doesn't have a set community price. You've probably noticed that Striker or any certified painted Lightnings aren't actually on the spreadsheet. They don't have official prices. And so because they don't have official prices, it's easier to manipulate the price. In addition, for example, painted Striker Lightnings, painted Score Lightnings, painted Tactician Lightnings, there's a lot less of them in the market. Let's say there's 1,000 Crimson Lightnings, maybe there's only 50 Striker Crimson Lightnings. When there's a lot less of an item, it's a lot easier for a big trader to buy a lot of this item, essentially gain a large amount of the market share of that item, and then price manipulate to victory. Let me show you an example here that may or may not be price manipulation, but it's just something I'm talking about. NZXT, a fairly big moderator in the Reddit or wherever he's a moderator at one of the Discords, he's selling a Striker Saffron Lightning for $90. He's also selling a Score White Lightning for $50. I'm not sure if these are fair prices. There's no price guide. It just seems to be whatever the prices are. But if you go down to the screenshot I got from December 27th, you can see the same advertisement on the spreadsheet by NZXT where he's selling the Striker Saffron Lightning for 150 and the Score White Lightning for 100. What am I thinking here? It kind of seems to me that he's either trying to create the appearance that these items are worth more than they are by advertising inflated prices in the spreadsheet, or he's simply trying to get a feel for the market and bring down the prices when no one's buying them. But like I said, these items are fairly rare. There's only a few of them in the market. You buy them up and you can essentially, if you even give the idea to a market that's this small, that perhaps they're worth 150, then maybe more and more people will be inclined. Will see this, they'll be like, oh, I also own a Striker Saffron Lightning. I'm not going to sell for 90, I want to sell for 150, and then the price increases that way. Just another area for potential price manipulation, not calling out NZXT in any sort of way, just saying there's a lot of potential. If you're a big trader, it's actually more profitable to buy items like Striker painted Lightnings that don't have a set price, where you can effectively buy 20 Crimson Striker Lightnings for $10,000, whatever. You now own 50% of that, 50% of all the Crimson Striker Lightnings in the PC market, and then you can sell for whatever you want. People will buy them because you own them. It's just kind of how it works. So that's the problems I see in the market. The market's fairly small, so big traders can buy out portions of items of the market and jack up the prices, price manipulate. The lack of official market support by Psionics means a lot of this has to be under the table. We got to rely on third-party spreadsheets, third-party prices. We got to rely on third-party middlemen who may or may not have our best interests in hand, and we got to rely on a lot of third-party stuff that's really not official. So what can we do about this? What can we do to change the game? Psionics needs to implement official market support. It's going to help alleviate this whole problem by having official tracking the amount of trades that are done, by tracking prices in real time. It's going to lessen our reliance on moderators and third-party spreadsheets to tell us what the prices are, and it's going to add stability to the market and give the market a better idea of what items are actually worth within the market. In addition, if they actually provided support for real hand money, for actual real money transactions and trading. Right now, if I wanted to buy 10,000 keys, I couldn't buy them from Psionics. It would take too long. I have to buy 100 at a time. That's crazy. I could buy 10,000 from the MLG store right here. Easy, effective, simple. I'd rather go through them. So if Psionics actually added official market support for prices and perhaps actual support for real money trading, more people would actually be buying keys from Psionics, and thus they would actually make more profits from this. A stable market means more people are willing to trade a market as well. If Psionics helps to, in their part, to stabilize the market, they will have more long-term key sales. So Psionics, I see a lot of incentive here to help correct these problems. Get to work, I think. I think that's the best thing to do. But ultimately, the market right now is too small to totally prevent price manipulation. You can very easily have a cadre of traders, a cadre of alpha item owners, and if they choose to buy a lot of alpha caps or goldstone rushes or whatnot and jack up the price, there's really nothing you can do because the market is fairly small. If you have a big time trader who wants to put in $10,000 into the game and jack up prices that way, you really can't stop them. However, as a community, as the people of this Reddit and of this trading communities and stuff, you have a choice. You can choose to buy these items for outrageous prices, or you cannot. And so it's completely up to you. It's up to your choice. But the community has a lot more power that I think the community doesn't give itself credit for in affecting prices. We don't have to settle for alpha caps being at $160 each. You don't have to settle for Crimson Lightnings being at 65 keys each. It doesn't have to be like that. You just simply not have to buy from these traders. And so do your part there. And so I'm not necessarily blaming any Discord, any group of traders, any price sheet for the price manipulation that's been happening. I'm not necessarily saying there is a group of Illuminati big stack traders that are all choosing at once, though there is some evidence out there that says just that. What I am saying is that this market Price manipulation, it's real. It's occurred in the past. It's occurring right now. And it's going to occur for months into the future because the market still is new. The market is still not just new, it's too small. The market's too small. It's too easy. I can buy hundreds of Crimson Lightning wheels for $10,000 and jack up the price. And artificially, by doing that, I artificially create large deficits in supply in the market, which will jack up demand and price. It's free market mechanics at play, but the actual reason why those mechanics are at play is because price manipulation is easy and price manipulation is effective. Another trend, and so that's kind of my whole point there. A couple other things I've seen is a lot of people are wanting to convert Rocket League. Big time traders want to trade lots of keys for CSGO knives or PayPal. I'm seeing this because they also realize that the trends in the price manipulation can't continue on forever, that this market, since it's small, is actually very inherently unstable, and so it's better to cash out your profits now to more stable items like CSGO knives or PayPal, where the value doesn't decrease or decrease at all, essentially. And so that's a trend I'm seeing. Another trend I'm seeing here is very obvious price manipulation. You go into the Trade Central Discord, you go into the Alpha Items sub Discord here, and you see this guy named Ace McGee's. I just saw the post. A couple of minutes ago. Yeah, he wants to pay 150k or 150 keys for an alpha cap. Yeah, according to here, to this advertisement on CGKX price spreadsheet, he really wants to buy him for 130 keys. So is that even a real offer? Probably not, because he wants to flip around and right after he buys the alpha cap from you for 130 keys, he's going to sell it for $175 PayPal. That's great. That's some great manipulation. Good job. You're a great elite trader, bro. Elite. Love you. Jesus. Alpha cap for $170. Alpha cap, you want $180. Damn, you know these prices are exponential. Gee. Alpha cap $200. Are we seeing this right now? We seeing this? Oh, another thing. Kind of gonna call out. I don't mean to call out Connor, who's like an official moderator on the Trade Central Discord, but I just want to point out something here. It's kind of complete baloney. Let's see if I can find it. Really want to find this example because I think it's a good example of maybe price manipulation or maybe just taking advantage of people. That is, if I can actually find it. Feeling pretty awkward right now in the video that I can't find the example. Oh, there we go. So he wants to sell an alpha set, that's the Goldstone wheels, Gold Rush, Gold Cap, Gold Knight for $2,800 USD. Seems fairly reasonable. I mean, but let's say for example that Goldstone is $1,100, going to be a little conservative here, plus 1,000 Gold Rush, plus that, plus that. Buying the items individually would cost you $23.40. So he's going to make around $400 in profit just by selling them as a set. What? I can understand maybe $50 or $100 in profit because of a set, but $400 in profit for a set? That's crazy. What are you doing? I don't know. So yeah, I fully agree. Price manipulation is real. May or may not be malicious. May or may not be planted by a group, but it's very easy because the market is too small. That's just the rules of how a free market works. If a market is small and you have a guy who's a lot of really rich in keys or money, you can buy out parts of the market. If I have $10,000 right now, even $1,000, I can start buying burnt sienna photons and start jacking up the price. Easy. It's very easy to do this. I like these posts here. 15 keys with they're trying to combat price manipulation. Love these posts here. See, that's community trying to take action. It's not going to work, but it's at least bringing attention to the fact that price manipulation is a problem. So I hope Psionics does something about it. Help use the community. Start researching more prices, getting more opinions, and not buying these overpriced items that are clearly being manipulated because they're just not worth it. They're just not worth it. In my opinion, my honest opinion, Alpha Cap is worth 120 key. Crimson Light, it's probably worth more like 50 key. And Goldstone, maybe more like 750 key. It's just not worth 1,000+ keys. All right, those are my opinions, and I think it's just something to think about. So there it is for you, price manipulation. Have a good one.